Okay, I'm back, and we are going to work on pages 13-10 as well as 13-11 in this particular demo. We're creating a warp type with a unique shape. And I've already done just a practice run through of this, so I'm stepping back in my history to get it back to where it was originally, which is really kind of a nice thing to be aware of. I'm sure you worked with it previously, but you can bring up your history panel and then do a step backwards to get you back to an area or to a step that you had taken previously, undoing the last couple of steps. With Photoshop, if you just do an edit undo, it will only give you a one, I think it's just a one undo, and then you can step backwards a few as well. But typically I go to the history panel just so I can view what I'm undoing and what I've done. Alright, so starting on page 310, we're going to click the Playful Cat Addition layer on the Layers panel. We're going to zoom into the image until the magnification factor is 100%. My magnification factor is already 100%, so we're going to leave it where it is. We're going to double click the Playful Cat Addition layer thumbnail, and you'll see that automatically selects that. We're going to click the Set the Font Size list arrow on the options bar. Going to point it to 12 points. We're going to click the Create Warped Text button on the options bar. And again, if I've not mentioned it before, this really isn't a good option to use when you're working with text. The primary function of text is to be read and to be understood. And a graphic designer's primary job in working with text is to make it more readable and more easily accessible. So something like this typically wouldn't do that. Just keep that in mind as we work through some of these exercises, that we're learning Photoshop. We're not necessarily incorporating good graphic design principles as we go through this textbook. Their job is to teach you Photoshop, as is my job in this position. Not necessarily good design principles as we're working through the exercises. Okay, so I'll get off that graphic design horse. In warping text, we are going to then click the Style list arrow. We're going to do an arc upper. We're going to verify that the horizontal option button is selected, which it is. We're going to change the settings for the bend, horizontal distortion, and vertical distortion so that they match those shown in figure 10, or you'll see it on my screen in just a moment. So that's plus 40. Horizontal distortion is minus 3, and vertical distortion is plus 10. And click OK. And then we're going to use the Move tool to move it over so that it's right over the little playful cat as well. You can use the arrow keys to nudge those over too if you like. And there you go. All right, then going on to page 13-11. We're going to enhance the warp text with some other effects. Again, keeping in mind this is not necessarily good graphic design, but learning the Photoshop keys. We're going to zoom out until the magnification level is 66.7%. So you want to get your zoom tool, and you're going to, if you're on a Mac, you're going to hit your option bar or button. If you're on a PC, it's an Alt, and you'll see that changes from zoom in to zoom out. And we're going to zoom out to 66.7%. We are going to add a layer style button on the layers panel. We're still on the Playful Cat edition. We're going to click, and then we're going to add a stroke. When we click stroke, that you'll see that number one, that becomes a lot darker, but number two, a dialog box comes up that allows us to change some of the options. One of the options that we want to change is the color. We're going to give that a light blue background. And just for the interest of time, I'm going to just briefly go through this. You'll see that in the text it says 650Y by 90, or 650X by 90Y is shown in figure 13. I'm just again picking a light blue. I'm less concerned about the color and more concerned that you understand how to manage the process. So I'm going to click OK there. And then in addition to that, we are going to make sure the size is set to 3 pixels, which it is. And you want to make sure that it is positioned outside. We could position it inside, but see what happens is it covers up the black stroke. Or you could also go to center it, which does not allow the black to show through quite as much so. So we're going to send it to the outside. And then click OK. And we're going to zoom in so you can see the effect of that. Perfect. All right, that's finishing through the bottom of page 13-11. You want to do a Command or Control S to save your work. And I will do just a couple more demos and then I'll leave you to your own devices, unless you have questions, of course.